Hello, my friends. It's day 27 of our reading challenge. We're in John 15, the whole chapter, John 15, and the first 4 verses of chapter 16. Again, this is Jesus and his disciples. Maybe they're on their way now from the upper room out to the garden. Maybe they're still finishing up in the upper room. We're not sure exactly where this happens, but it's still the conversation just a few hours, if not moments, before his arrest in the garden. And Jesus talks about connection. He talks about how we are connected to him, how we have to remain connected to him. And that's a great blessing. He talks about the vine and the branches and how being connected to him is what enables us to live, and especially to live the way God intends us to live, to bear much fruit. And we can't do it on our own. We can only live as one of his people as we remain connected to him. It's one of the reasons this reading thing is so important. This is one way that we stay connected to him. Coming to worship, receiving the Lord's Supper, ways that we remain connected to him, to receive again that love, the nourishment that he has for us, so that can overflow from us to others. Branches don't bear fruit unless they're connected to the vine. We don't bear fruit unless we're connected to Jesus. We draw our very life from him, and we draw our ability to live faithfully from him. It's a very one-sided sort of thing. We don't do this by ourselves. It's only as Jesus enables us. It's only as he loves us that we're able to love others, even when they're unlovable. But that connection comes with another side also that Jesus shifts to, starting about verse 18 and through the end of the reading today. The connection with Jesus comes with a warning. We can't expect to be treated any differently than how Jesus was treated. When Jesus spoke about what God's kingdom is like, the leaders didn't necessarily like what he had to say, and they didn't always understand what he had to say, and they resented him for it a little bit. Because much of what Jesus says runs counter to what the world expects, or even how we think we ought to live. But Jesus calls us to live according to God's kingdom, that we're citizens of that world, not this one. So we live by a different set of standards. We offer forgiveness always instead of vengeance. We live faithfully in everything, even and especially when no one else is looking. We are expected, and we give generously. Extravagant generosity is part of our lives, based not on the worth of someone else, but simply based on their need. Go back to the parable of the Good Samaritan, for instance. The leaders didn't like it when Jesus said it, because he was contradicting their accepted wisdom. And they probably won't like us all the time when our lives reflect what Jesus said, because our lives don't always fit the expectations of society around us. We might not always be popular, but our connection to Jesus takes precedence over everything else. Our connection to Jesus gives us strength, gives us life, enables us to bear fruit, even as our connection to Jesus reminds us that we'll be treated in this world just as he was, perhaps. But because we remain connected, we know that we have life. Difficult words, but words that also bring with it a word of promise and a word of hope. We'll continue listening to what Jesus has to say again tomorrow as we read the rest of chapter 16. Until tomorrow, God be with you.